Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of South Louisiana heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours at the end of last week. If you are wondering what in the world is all this stuff Clarence has coming up there, we got a special show for you today. I can't wait to get involved with this. I will tease it, as we say in the business, by labeling it, y'all thought I was the only one, didn't you? You thought I was the only one. No, not by a long shot. Dianne Andrews, dear friend of the show, dear friend of all of Louisiana, and I told Marty last week after watching one of her shows, I said I realized she had been red-pilled. I just didn't realize she drank the whole freaking bottle of them. It's going to be a great show. Stick around for that. Obviously, as we typically do, we start today's show with Louisiana news and some very troubling events since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. If you thought Baton Rouge, I don't know why you would think that way, but if in chance you did, thought that we were immune from this rash of mass shootings nationwide, you were very rudely brought back down to earth this past weekend. 12 people shot inside a nightclub off of Bennington Avenue. If you are familiar with the Capital Region, you know that it's a highly populated area, big entertainment-based area. 12 people shot. One, it's my understanding from the latest media reports, is paralyzed as a result of the shooting. What is so very egregious about all of this, aside from the fact that the shooting itself happened, but there were 3 police cars in the parking lot when this all unfolded. Y'all, there is a saying in military circles, situational awareness. If you haven't, as of yet, ascertained this, our world now is such that anywhere you go, any given day, any given time, you better be aware of what's going on around you. Things happen so quickly without any reasonable justification whatsoever. And the opportunity now to find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time exists just about anywhere you go. I cannot stress how important it is that you be situationally aware. Know what's around you. People tease me all the time, go to dinner, go to lunch, whatever. I never sit with my back to the door. Never do. It's just situational awareness. I want to see who's coming in. I want to see who's going out. I want to see what they're bringing in with them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a simple matter of being aware of your surroundings at all times. And just when you think, nah, couldn't happen to me, well, you end up on the Clarence Bug Show. Just saying. Another Louisiana story that very disheartening as well. Yet another big drug bust here in the capital region. And in this particular instance, aside from the presence of fentanyl, methamphetamine, crack cocaine, marijuana, oxycodone, and a number of illegally owned firearms, is the fact that there were 5 juveniles in the house as these controlled buys were taking place. In case you don't know, the scourge of fentanyl, primarily coming across our southern border, has impacted more American lives in recent memory than just about anything I can put my finger on. Over 107,000 of our fellow Americans last year dying from a fentanyl overdose. And if you were to listen to the left and the mainstream media, it has nothing whatsoever to do with the invasion of our southern border. Sadly, as is typically the case, crimes of this sort, statistics of this sort, disproportionately affect the African American community. And yet and again, over and over again, we find those that are in a position of power to do something about it refuse, for whatever reason, to do so. I don't know who, and this is probably directly akin to the problem we have of people drinking and driving in Louisiana. Until the right person's loved one dies from it, we won't see the federal government step up and do what the federal government is charged with doing. This is a short segment. I want to get this one out of the way because I am chomping at the bit to prove to you all, without any question of a doubt whatsoever, I am not the only one. We'll get back and start off the remainder of today's show with Dianne Andrews, author, businesswoman, TV personality, and, wait for it, another black conservative. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Man, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. I have been waiting literally with bated breath. And a guy's not supposed to be giddy, especially a black man. Not supposed to be giddy. But I have been just giddy ever since she told me, all right, Clarence, I'm going to come on the show. You probably know her as business person, author, TV personality, red-pilled individual like yours truly. Welcome, if you will, to the Clarence Buggs Show. I hope I can call her now my friend, officially, Dianne Andrews, host of Dianne Andrews in Black and White. How are you, dear?
It's good to be with you. We've talked, and I've talked to your people about this, Alan and Bert and all of them, and we've never got together. It is so good. I'm so happy to be on your show.
Same here. So for those that don't know, who is Dianne Andrews?
Oh, you're asking me who I am? Oh, yeah. Wow. I guess I'm a truth seeker. That's the first thing I tell people. You know, people tell me, are you crazy, Dianne? What do you mean you like Donald Trump? What do you mean you're a conservative? I've been doing this show 7 years.
Right.
And I was an independent, and I changed to a Republican Party because of Donald Trump. People and blacks, I really want you to know Donald Trump was so good for the black community. He was good for this country.
Amen.
If you just think back 3 years ago what this country looked like and what it looks like today. Let's think about 5 million people crossing our borders in 2 years. That is changing the trajectory and the geography of this country is being changed. And don't get me wrong, I believe in legal immigration. America allows more people to come into this country. Over 1.3 million come in legally. And that is more than any country in the world. I do Ukraine shows. I believe in helping Ukraine. But how do we protect Ukraine's border? By giving them $100 billion in a year and equipment. And Germany's not doing it. Who is Ukraine next to? They are next to Poland, Romania, Germany. Germany is the third richest country in the world. Why aren't they helping us more?
Valid questions. Projects. I see all sorts of stuff up here. What's the... I feel unfair asking you about your latest project because, I mean, you've written so many books. You've got so much information out
They've
there.
seen this on my show.
So what projects are in the works?
Well, I am now an inventor and a patent owner because I patented this pillow. You can carry a dog or kitty or baby in it. It's so nice and soft. I drove to a city, and I left part of my Fuji. You've probably seen Fuji on the show, a little white poodle.
Right.
And I didn't have all of his medicine. I thought I had left it at home. And so I said, I drove to Las Vegas. And I said, I had to go find a a vet and get the medicine. It was
Right.
$200 extra. It took time because he takes a couple of meds, 3 or
Right.
4. So I sat down. I'm a mathematics major, BS, undergrad math and chemistry. And I said, he needs his own luggage. So
Right.
you can carry him in this. You
Nice.
can carry his meds at the bottom. And it is soft. You can sleep on this. He drove. We just drove to Vegas recently too, and he drove all the way on this. He sat on this. So that's my latest project. I'm opening a store here on Florida in April, and they are not made in China. Anyone who knows my show, no, I am not, and I would have not made this
Good
pillow.
for you.
I looked and looked and looked. I went out to the work release program at the
Right.
prison. I was going to use prisoners,
Right.
Because they bring them, and I have a master seamstress who I went through, designed and made the pattern,
Right.
Pattern. Then I went to a patent, my patent attorney Russell Prevost down at Keene Miller downtown,
Right.
And I tried to get this pillow made in America. I really, really did, and there was no way that I could get it made here. But the work release, I'd signed a contract with them. I had guys coming. We were going to teach them how to cut and sew.
Right.
And then COVID.
So you're creating
And
jobs.
I stopped again. I'm creating jobs. But I did find a flooded community in Pakistan that is where this pillow is made, in Pakistan, not in China. I would have never done it, and people will tell you, my friends, that's how no, I'm never doing it. It took me 3.5 years to get this pillow done. I could have gotten it done in 3 months in China.
That's a big statement about manufacturing in
Yeah, it is.
America
It is.
and how far we've fallen in that regard. All right, let's get to the meat of the matter. Red pill moment.
Yes.
Was there one particular thing in the life of Dianne Andrews that made the light come on for her as far as conservatism?
When I look back, I guess I've always been kind of a conservative. But I was, we come out of the womb as Democrats. Black people do.
Oh, yeah.
What did Joe Biden say? Y'all all vote the same. Now, the Latin community is different, but all black people vote the same.
Right.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
And as he didn't want black kids to go to school in the black jungle 30 years ago.
Don't say that
Didn't
too
want
loud.
I can't say
You're not supposed to know that.
Oh yeah. We're not supposed to know when he said that. And he was the pallbearer for the biggest racist who's ever been a senator, who was in the Klan, I understand, before. But no, I think I've always been a conservative, even though I was a Democrat. But I never voted for Barack Obama. I looked at 2 + 2 has to equal 4 to me. Again,
Right.
my degree,
Right.
mathematics.
So you're not buying the new math?
No, I'm not into the new math. Even with the Common Core, I've done shows on CRT out there, and
Right.
Common Core and all
Right.
those shows, because as I said, I've been doing this 7 years. But there was not one moment. But when I heard our previous president talk, those are the things that America should aspire for. I have traveled to 30 countries, okay? I was an executive with IBM before I came. I came in to take
Right.
care of my mother so she wouldn't have to go to the nursing home.
Right.
And
Bless your heart.
yeah, because my relatives wanted to put her in a nursing home, and that wasn't happening. So I came in to take her. I was still with IBM when I came here, and what is going on then? I was I was only 2 when I first saw Clinton. Now I was only 3 or 4 years old then.
Right.
I'm making
Right.
a joke big time.
Right.
But everybody kind of liked Clinton. He played the game. He played the guitar. He had swagger. But Obama had a different kind of swagger and had no record as to what. I looked at the 2 years he was in the Senate, he voted present. So he had no record. But I went back to Chicago, and I saw, I didn't like what I saw. He was from the district in Chicago that is now still the murder capital of the world, over in the south side of Chicago. That was his district. And some things I saw about him, he seemed to me that he was born, I'm not against him being born in America. Let's say he was born in Hawaii when it was Hawaii. But then he was raised in Malaysia, which is 97% Muslim, which is no problem with that. I've done shows with every transgenders, Muslims, everybody. Has a voice. I had a white atheist debate a black Baptist minister, and I had a white transgender debate a black Baptist minister. You want to see some good shows out there? That's really funny. But so there. I didn't like NAFTA. When Bill Clinton did NAFTA, I said, why is he giving away our jobs to Mexico and Canada?
Right.
And at the time, they were trying to make this, they're trying to make it one America. Who is the target for the world? It's just like if you're the prettiest girl in the class, everybody hates you.
Right.
We are the prettiest country in the world.
Uh-huh.
We're the most blessed by God in the world.
Uh-huh.
We
And they
have as
hate
much
that.
oil as Saudi Arabia.
Uh-huh.
We have everything but my little diamonds here. We got everything here but diamonds. We have to go to Africa to get those.
Yeah.
But we've got gold. We've got silver. We sold out most of our rare earth minerals to China, and that's why solar is taking over today.
I have to ask, because I've been doing this for so long now, after 43 years of broadcasting, the overwhelming majority of it in conservative talk radio, I've heard it all. I've been called Uncle Tom. I've been called a mouthpiece for the man. I've been
Yes.
called bootlicker for Republic. I've heard it all.
Right.
And it doesn't faze me.
You're also a white supremacist.
Well, yeah, I
Colin
identify
said too,
as
yeah.
a white supremacist. So I've heard it all.
Yeah.
But for you, after the culmination of looking at all these things, watching all these things, analyzing everything that's happened, and then you came to the realization, I don't like what I'm seeing.
Right.
I don't like the liberalism. I'm conservative. This is how I was raised. This is who I am. Once you made that decision, what was it like, the reaction from family, from friends, that people that knew you? What was their reaction like?
A girlfriend that I started IBM with, I graduated college at 19, and we've been friends since then. She said, "Dianne, you're too brilliant to be this stupid. What is wrong with you?
Wow.
How can you believe in Donald Trump?" Well, if you look at now, they just found records classified in Mike Pence's house.
Right.
All of them carry him out of the White House. It's just the way it is. But now,
it's only Donald Trump that could be that irresponsible.
that's right, and I just don't understand it. As our current president said in Mar-a-Lago, when they found him in 5 different places now, in all your houses all over the country, and at the Penn Biden Center that China funded by $35 million.
Not to mention the fact that some of these documents now apparently you've had since your days in the United States Senate.
15 years ago. That's insane. Lindsey Graham was on television talking about how do you take a classified document as a senator, and let people understand this. Even as the vice president, he had no right to.
No.
He cannot declassify. Donald
felony.
Trump could declassify any classified record. Vice president cannot.
It's a felony.
That's right,
when
unless it
anyone
originated with
other-
him. That's the only way.
Yeah. So
To answer the question, yeah, my girlfriends, I don't have as many as I had, but I tell them, let's not talk about politics. I have a lot who are middle of the road, but I tell people, one thing I would like to do, the Republican Party is not where it should be either. I've done shows
No.
on rhinos, and we have a lot here in Louisiana.
ask Mr. Santos.
That's right.
And just look at that. We'll touch on that later
on the House of Representatives guy, who seems to be a big liar, but is he any different than Joe Biden? I mean, if he did something criminal, he should be charged. But if lying becomes a crime with a politician, then they would all be in jail.
I'm one of those people that firmly believes in holding self accountable. Now, Republicans are going to lambaste this guy for all the lies that he told. And as a diehard American, I understand full well due process. You have the right to be presumed innocent unless and until you are proven guilty. I get that. If the people of New York voted for him, let him hold his seat until the investigation continues.
That's right.
My problem with Republicans, and I'm calling them out on this, is that you put this guy on 2 committees.
Right.
Now, it's one thing to let him hold the seat.
Right.
Until we find out, did you lie or you crooked or whatever. But then to give him 2 committee assignments, it makes you look just as bad as the Democrats.
That's right. And that's what, like Eric Swalwell, who was Fang and having the affair, and he's on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and he's maybe dating a spy. We don't know. She was proven to be a spy, I think, right?
Correct.
And you had Adam Schiff, who, people may not know this, but the Russian hoax turned out all to be a lie, because what is done, they put it out here, and then 4 years later, you find out, wow, it was a lie, and nobody cares.
Did you see this past weekend, the guy who led the charge shouting Russian collusion was arrested last week for, wait for it, colluding with Russia.
With Russia.
So now you really believe that the news media is giving you all the facts? Hold that thought. Let me get this break out of the way. We'll come back and talk more with yet another one We had to go digging under the sofa cushion, but we found another one, and we'll talk with them more when we continue the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close. Good stuff.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
You could be driving. Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. No, do not attempt to adjust your set. It's not just me. Dianne Andrews, author, businesswoman, media personality, host of Dianne Andrews in Black and White, joins us for today's show. We were talking earlier, Dianne, about what it was like for you to have the awakening.
Yes.
To see what's going on in this country, particularly in the African American community, and decide that the Democrat Party and liberalism was not for you. After you made that move, had that realization, what was it that allowed you to stick to your guns?
My morals, basically my intellect. 2 + 2 has to equal 4. Look at the states and the cities, the cities that are being destroyed in this country.
Yep.
Look at the BLM riots, $2 billion in 2020 of burning down black, white, brown businesses.
Yep.
And nobody went to jail. Look at 1/6. It was wrong. Don't get me wrong. But nobody carried a gun into the Capitol. Don't let anybody fool you. The woman who got killed by the black policeman, Ashley Babbitt, which is a disgrace. I thought any policeman was supposed to say, stop, halt, before they shoot you.
Right.
She had no gun in her hand, and she was climbing through through the window. It was wrong. They shouldn't have broken the window.
Right.
But if you look at some of the pre-stuff, some of that, you'll see where police were saying, come on in.
That doesn't fit the narrative.
No, and you'll see where this Epps guy, he lived someplace else, he was telling, man, let's go into the Capitol. And I think he was a tall white guy named Epps. And people tried, but they didn't do anything to him, but he seemed like he was organizing some of it.
Right.
And I've read that the FBI knew about it the nights before. Trump had asked for military to be there. Muriel Bowser, the black woman, female mayor of Washington, handles the Capitol. She doesn't have a Capitol Police. That's Nancy Pelosi, not Kevin.
Right.
Kevin McCarthy handles it.
Who also turned down aid prior to.
We got 1 million people coming in here. Do you really think it's not going to be a problem? Trump and them did ask, and they were not granted any people to help out the Capital City Police.
What does your gut tell you? If you listen to the media and those on the left, you and I are probably the only two black conservatives in the entire southern United States of America.
Yeah.
What does your gut tell you? How many more people that look like you and I are dissatisfied with what's going on, are done with liberalism, but because of their friends, their associates, the media, they're afraid to say anything about it? What does your gut tell you?
Their church, because, hey, every pastor's day, you got some politicians going, hey, pastor's anniversary, here's $5,000. Hey, can I put a sign in front of the church? Hey, and that's not illegal. Like Newt Gingrich said a couple of weeks ago, we have to play the game that we'll do. Ballot harvesting is legal in a lot of states. I think it may be legal here, because we come sometimes pick people up on the bus, have fried Popeye's chicken waiting on, and take them to vote. Or we go pick up the ballots from them. That's done in a lot of states, and not just by in the black community. We have to play the game they play. And that's what I tried to get into the East Baton Rouge Republican Women's Association, where for about a year I was the only black person there. And I said, let's go out to Southern. If they see me, and I explain, if you hear infanticide, don't get me wrong, a lot of people don't. That doesn't make you stupid if you don't know what it means. A lot of people don't know. When they talk about infanticide, that means killing the baby the last trimester, even the day it comes out of the womb. And your vice president, and happens to be my Sarah, Kamala Harris, believes in infanticide. I don't know how anybody believes. I did a pro-life, pro-choice show, and I actually show the baby's transition from the fetus, the embryo, from 0 weeks to 12 weeks is when it really becomes fully formed. Now, it has a heartbeat prior, but it cannot live. It is fully formed, and after 12 weeks, they actually have to cut the baby's limbs to get it out of the uterus, and the baby feels pain. I don't believe a lot of black people believe in that. I just don't. And maybe I'm wrong. But and I wanted to, again, go out to Southern. Nobody wanted to do it. And I said, we have to let independents caucus with the Republicans. They wouldn't listen to that. I even talked to the state president. I'm thinking about, like, Sean Hannity now changing. Sean Hannity kept him. Most people, Eric Bolling, they're not Republicans. Because you get disgusted with the Republican Party and what people like Mitch McConnell do. Black or white, that happens to you. And I'm seeing why. Mitch McConnell gave $11 million for the abortion campaigns around the country. The Democratic Party paid $400 million to fool you all like nobody could have an abortion. It goes to the state. Most states remain the same.
The way it should have been all along.
That's right. And I think there are 11 states that, and Louisiana's one who has a Democratic governor. Our governor is the only Democratic governor, I think, in the country that does not believe in abortion.
I've got to ask this question, and I know you will accept it in the spirit that it's given. What is it with Joe Biden and black women? Here's what I mean. He brought us Kamala Harris. Somebody, even his own party, didn't want. Nobody wanted this woman as second in command as the leader of the free world. Then he brought us, his words last week, Ketanji Drown Jackson.
Yes.
The one woman in the entire universe that can't define what a woman is. The one woman who couldn't define. Now he brings us Karine Jean-Pierre, White House spokesperson, easily, hands down, the most ill-equipped woman to ever set foot in that office.
At the microphone.
Is this an example of what you get when you hire what I call box checkers?
That's right.
Okay, she's black, check that box, and she's female. Oh, that's 2. Check that box.
She's married to Suzanne Malveaux. You may not know that. She's transgender also, whatever they call it, LGBTQ.
So
from
she's
New Orleans.
black, you check that box. Female,
They live
check
together.
that
I think
box.
they're married, yeah.
Gay, you check that box. That's a 3.
And she's a foreigner.
And an immigrant.
Yeah, an immigrant.
Yeah, that's 4 boxes.
But I don't think she crossed the border. Hopefully she came legally.
But you can't answer simple questions without looking in your binder for the answer. How insulting is all of this to black people, and particularly to black women?
Only 5% of black women are Republicans. That's a problem right there. 40% of black men have seen the light. And I can tell you from trying to talk to women versus men, it's a whole different world. Because women will not relinquish anything to what has been done by conservatives in this country. I'm writing my 6th book right now, which is on civil rights and why we can't swim. Because that was taken by white people from black people. Do you really think we lived in South Africa? I mean, on west coast of Africa on the ocean and couldn't swim? That was part of our business as slaves when we were brought over here. But and where were the plantations? On the water. They were on the river, the biggest one. So they stopped blacks from swimming.
Right.
But in doing this, I'm writing on civil rights because there have been 4 major civil rights. Ulysses Grant, who was the Union, who won the Civil War, who would not take a slave when his daddy-in-law tried to give it to him, his wife's daddy. And he was a very fair, good man. Also, he did the first Civil Rights Act in 1876, allowing black men to vote, because women, we couldn't vote to women's suffrage in the 1920s.
Right.
So no woman could vote anyway. But what Abraham Lincoln did, which I didn't know, and this really shined a light on me, and maybe it will you too, Clarence. His Vice President, Andrew Johnson, was a Democrat. And he did that to bring the country together.
Right.
49 days later, he was assassinated and by a Democrat, John Wilkes Booth. Do you think it may have been a plan for Reconstruction? Because who oversaw Reconstruction was President Andrew Johnson, who started the Jim Crow laws, were Democrats. And then Eisenhower did 2 Civil Rights Acts in 57 and 60, allowing us to have better voting ability, voting rights. But the last one, the last Civil Rights Act, 64, whenever the Voting Rights Act with Johnson, Johnson could not get it passed through his Democratic Senate.
Right.
He had to go to Eric Dirksen, who was the minority whip. The best orator, better than Obama. I don't do that. 2 plus 2 equals 4. I'm a mathematics. I'm a BS in mathematics. Okay. Do I need to say more on getting those facts? And I'm blessed with a photographic memory from my mother. She had that kind of memory, and I'm blessed. Neither one of my parents college educated, but I wouldn't have traded from anyway but brilliant people. Just like my little poodle. But anyway, just let me say this: how they passed the last Civil Rights Act, because I do want people to know that. How they passed it. Eric Dirksen got almost every Republican to vote for it. The longest filibuster in history has been that filibuster of the Dixiecrats, the white senators from the South who never voted for the Civil Rights Act to pass in the South. And do you really think that's why we're doing things didn't go right with it, with everything?
Let me pose this question, and again, I know you will accept it in the spirit that it's given. We look at the state of the African American community in America these days. Our young brothers are goalless, aimless, merciless in our own communities. I have preached for years that we can fix the problems in the black community real simple. And I want to know, from a woman's point of view, a black woman, am I oversimplifying this? If that young man that wants to take you out on a date, or as they say in the hood these days, I want to get with you. Ask him, number one, where did you graduate from school? Number two, where do you work? Number three, what are your goals for the rest of your life? If they can't answer those 3 things satisfactorily, kick them to the curb and keep on keeping on. And am I oversimplifying the fact that black womanhood in America could fix a lot of these problems relatively easily?
I definitely agree that black womanhood could fix a lot of the problems, but I think that example leaves another 2/3 of black women out of the equation. Yes, if you're doing okay, you're finish high school, have a job, you will ask those questions. But when I sit and they're wonderful, best women in the world, some who are single mothers. But if I have a child at 14, 15, and the fastest growing segment of this country who is having children out of wedlock is the white girl. And we're about 75%.
Right.
Dan Quayle, who I did read his book, talked about the biggest problem in America. He was Reagan's vice president. Is not having a two-parent family. God made it like this.
Amen.
And I talk to women. It's hard if you want to be broke in America. Be a single mother, uneducated.
Amen.
And they are going after those people, giving them money to try to take this country to socialism. 25 years ago, Venezuela was a free, beautiful country like America.
And look at it today. Now.
Barcelona, they just took out in Brazil, who was the last remaining democracy in South America, was Brazil. We are the only country left in the Americas that is not socialism. I brought a guy in from Cuba. He lives in Miami now. He was on asylum 2 years, and he was a true asylum because he was fighting for freedom in Cuba.
Right.
And they tried to kill him. He had to go through the Dominican, all kind of ways. He stayed at the Remain in Mexico policy Donald Trump had down there for 2 years. Then he got in here. He loves America. He loves Trump, but he sees what's going on in this country. Latin America are voting for conservative values because they know what happened in their countries.
They have been there, literally.
And I have been,
that.
you all, I have traveled. I have seen. I traveled with IBM, and I've traveled a lot on my own all over the world. And there is no country like this in the world.
Amen.
And if we continue to let them destroy it, there will be no country like this ever again.
Final break of today's show. The old adage, time flies when you're having fun.
It's been great.
Final break. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Joshua.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful.
and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the Tuesday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. It is the Clarence Buggs / Dianne Andrews in black and white show today. Let's talk about crime, because that is something that disproportionately affects the African American community. And in recent memory, there's been an explosion of crime. Your thoughts?
I definitely agree with you. In 2020, I never stopped doing my shows. In fact, I had a show with two black mothers whose sons had been killed by black on black crime. I also did a show with a white lady whose son was killed by a white policeman in Alabama. Mm-hmm. She's from down in New Orleans. I do shows on all of that to show that it works both ways. People may not know the stats, but they kill more they kill less black guys with guns. They kill more white guys who are armed than they do blacks. And the second deadliest killer is not AR, and it doesn't mean assault rifles. It stands for something else, the A does. Everybody thinks it's assault rifles, but it's something else. It's A something, and maybe the owner or the guy who developed it.
Their rifle.
Yeah, it's their rifle, I think. But knives are number 2. Mm-hmm. Look at Idaho. Look what happened in Idaho. Yep. Those all girls. You had 6 people in the house in Idaho, and you got one man that seems to be who thought he was smarter than everybody else, who killed 4 people in the house and 2 people still in there with a knife. So guns are not the only things that murder people. But in this state, we are in the top 3 of our cities, our 3 largest cities. New Orleans, of course, terrible, and Baton Rouge, and but I think Baton Rouge had done, and Shreveport. I think Baton Rouge had done some things to clean themselves up since they came out the end of 21. But we're 5 million people. How are we in the top 10 bad cities in the country as far as crime is concerned? Something wrong with that picture.
Democrat-run cities?
Every one of them is.
Oh.
And if you look on the list of the top 20 or 30, I think 90% were Democratic-run cities. I did a show with Helen Mortar in 2020 talking about defund the police. Right. And they did defund them in New York, and look what happened.
Yeah.
They're making people afraid to go out. Yeah, it didn't work out well, did it?
Got to touch on this latest classified document situation with the leader of the free world.
Yeah. You know, I think they would take my Fuji's toast if this is classified and just drop it in there with my little dog and take him out of the White House. Right. That's what they're doing.
Right. Can you believe? And of course, the White House will tell us, quote, there's no there.
Yeah.
They will tell us, well, the search has been completed.
Right.
My gut tells me, and I've learned to trust my gut, Dianne, over the years. Very seldom, if ever, does it lead me wrong. This has been done on purpose.
I think so. I think they want him out. I think Obama, he wants to come. That's what I said to Clarence.
They want him out.
We think alike.
Because otherwise, why now?
They've been hidden for 16 years.
And now, all of a sudden, they all just start showing up.
And why were they in Pence's house? Did he go through his own stuff? And I wonder and find out, I got a classified document before they knocked my door down when he talked about Trump having classified documents.
They'll only do that if you're a Republican. They knock the door down.
That's
Otherwise, we negotiate
with my lawyers
for a consensual search.
Right. And how can a lawyer who has no right to have classified documents in his hand be the one searching for documents at the Penn Biden Center? They searched there and found some. Really? You hire your lawyers to move your boxes to find stuff? Something not right here.
Penn Biden Center that paid Joe Biden $900,000 $100,000
for 9 photographs.
Never taught a class.
That's right.
Oh, and the same Penn Biden Center that received some $51 million in anonymous Chinese donations.
That's right.
That same Penn Biden Center.
What do they call them? Confucius. They have one at LSU. They've given money to all our major universities China has around the country. And they have these Confucius. I'm mispronouncing. Pronounce it for me. You know
Confucius?
Confucius. Yeah, I say Confucius. It's a U, not an I. Confucius centers around the country. China has indoctrinated itself into this country. And let's not forget, Hunter Biden went over on Air Force 2 with our vice president.
You got another hour?
Yeah, I got another hour. I can talk all day. You and I would talk all day.
You talk about Hunter Biden.
Woo!
And his Ukraine connections.
$1 million. Didn't he make $1 million in 1 year over there? And didn't on the way out, where did Joe Biden go visit? Didn't he go visit Ukraine? And he didn't he go to China too on the way out of office, not thinking he would come back as president. But remember who got him in here? James Clyburn. And because he had lost every other primary, the New Hampshire, the Iowa, the everything, and Carolina took him over, and Clyburn did that for this country.
How troubling is it when you entertain the fact that in the age of the internet, the average American is walking around with a device in their pocket that can instantly access all the knowledge our species has created since its inception. And yet, many of us are, and y'all accept this in the spirit that it's given, many of us are dumber now than we have ever been. How important, and can you stress enough how important it is to no longer drink the Kool-Aid of the mainstream media and use these resources to educate yourself?
And that's what I have done. I look at the CNNs, I read what they say, I look at what Fox says, and I'll have to tell you, even when Obama was in office, he said, don't watch Fox, but I was looking at them, and I was an independent then, and I was saying, they seem to have the better information when I go back and research it. So there's something called the Holy Dharma that most people have never heard of. I hadn't heard of it until I was researching for. I've done 4 shows on Ukraine with a guy who escaped from Ukraine. Is one, 82 years old. That's out there on my Rumble and my YouTube. And his daughter is a PhD here. I had done some shows with her. She was trying to get him out, and she did get him out. 728 miles they escaped. It was like a Mission Impossible show. It's so good, that one, with the 82-year-old who escaped from Ukraine. But and Ukraine is who they starved in the Holy Dharma. That's how I found out about it. I asked her about it. She said, almost afraid to talk about it now. They told him don't talk about it. Now, Stalin was a communist. He believed in Marxism. Karl Marx developed communism. And they were doing communism. That was in the 1920s before Hitler. Hitler was Nazism. We jumped all against them. But nobody said too much bad about Stalin. He starved 5 to 10 million people. Look up the Holy Dharma. You knew about it? Good. Most people didn't know about it. I didn't know about it either before that. And that's one reason I love this show, because I'm a knowledge absorber. So I love to find the truth. As I told you, one word to summarize me: a truth seeker. So
how can people find out more about the books, about the TV show, about the My Kitty? How can they find out?
Fuji's Totes is named after my poo.
After the little one.
After the little one. Yeah, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the tote. Yeah.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. How can they find out more?
I have a website, all of Dianne Andrews. Pretty easy.
So
all of Dianne Andrews. Yes.
Okay,
but the Rumble has, sometimes we don't get all the shows on there on Rumble. Rumble, they took me, I covered CPAC. I was one of I was standing next to Fox and CNN. I submitted to cover it, and 21 I did. I went to Dallas and I covered CPAC. And so I was standing, they had us in a position where we could, cover. And I covered Trump. I covered Dr. Ben Carson. I actually interviewed the House Representative Louis Fomer from Texas. He retired. He was a kind of older guy. He was a House representative guy. Anyway, and I interviewed the black guy who was running for governor then. He changed from Democrat, and he ran for governor as a Republican in Georgia. against Brian Kemp now. So I interviewed some people. But anyway, when I put the Trump show out there, immediately taken down off YouTube, they said, if you put one more we don't like out there, we're killing your whole 6 years of information. Wow. So I started putting everything on Rumble. And I only put certain things on YouTube now. But it's Dianne Andrews' show on YouTube, and it's Dianne Andrews TV on Rumble.
What would you tell people that are interested in looking at the other side of things, be they Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever? What advice would you give them pertaining to where you get your news from and how important it is to be selective in that regard?
To really investigate, just as you call it, just don't drink the Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. When, everybody talks so badly about Joe Biden and Democrats and America and us black people, we have short memories and we're very forgiving. Mm-hmm. Now, 2 months ago, he was on 60 Minutes talking about Donald Trump. Now, what's he saying about him? Oh, it was in with my Corvette. It was locked up with my Corvette with a box that if it rained or it got flooded in there, the classified documents turned into nothing.
You mean the same Corvette we now have pictures of Hunter Biden out joyriding in? That's Corvette?
Right. Yeah, the same Corvette. Okay. And Hunter paying $50,000 or $49,000 to his daddy for renting a room in that house. Seems like it's a beautiful house, and
ain't that much house.
He never had a real job. And how do you have houses where each one $10, $20, $30 million? You got 4 or 5 of them around the country.
And you got all of that from your pay in Congress?
And hey, if you were Donald Trump, he didn't even take his $400,000 pay. Not 1 year did Donald Trump get paid for being president. He lost $1 billion in office.
We have made it a commitment that the two of us are going to cross-promote in the future. So be looking to see yours truly on Diane's show.
Yes.
Be looking in the future to see more of Dianne on my show. Because the fact of the matter is, y'all, this country's too important. And me as a black man, I have a vested interest in this country continuing to survive and thrive. My people went through too much to finally become Americans, to turn around and let some other bunch of yahoos flush it all down the toilet. I've got too much invested, too much at stake. And at the end of the day, this country affords us every opportunity out there. The only question is, are you going to be intelligent enough, inquisitive enough, disciplined enough to take advantage of these things and be the person that this country affords you the opportunity to be? It's something that I am so looking forward to. And it occurred to me the other day, you need to hurry up and get Dianne on so that people will no longer be able to dismiss what you say as, well, he's the only one that thinks this way. There's a whole lot more of us out here than any of you would ever imagine. It's just that the two that you see right now, we're big enough, bad enough, and don't care enough to tell it like it is. The rest of y'all will get there at some point. Just keep watching the Clarence Bug Show. Keep watching Dianne Andrews in black and white, and you'll build up that faith muscle. You'll build up that political muscle, and next thing you know, you'll be expounding the same values as well. Now, that being said, my time's up, and I got to go. But you already know the drill. Guys, girls, this day, maybe more so than any other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we are not perfect. But for our money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. You know the good Lord loves you, and you know I do too. You also know there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.